Tune in, don't miss every word dropping jewels. Straight bliss. Chris Talk Show with a vibe legit. Take a seat, lean back. This the hit.
What's up, listeners? Welcome to another episode of the show. Hope that you're having a blessed day because I am definitely having a blessed one. All right, let's get into our top topic for this episode, which is going to be a retired teacher was killed after New York lets his alleged attacker walk free again and again. All right, I'm going to go to Sarah for this report, and as always, I want to give you my view and my opinion at the end. All right, let's get right into it.
Thank you, Chris. Ross Falzoni was the kind of New Yorker who came home late. Not because he had to. Because the city kept giving him reasons to stay out. His neighbors on West 85th Street knew the routine. Brielle Waxman, 35, would get back to her apartment at midnight and find Falzoni arriving at the same time. He loved classical music, Carnegie Hall, Lincoln Center. He had a doctorate from Columbia University and spent decades teaching special education. One of the hardest jobs there is. He was 76 years old. He weighed less than 100 pounds. He had recently come through surgery. And his next-door neighbor Mark Stager, who had known him since 1981, noticed something in recent weeks. Falzoni seemed happier, more mobile, more like himself. On Thursday evening, May 7th, he was walking north on 7th Avenue, heading toward the No. 1 train at the 18th Street station in Chelsea. He was going home. He never made it. A 32-year-old former Broadway dancer who had been arrested 5 times since February and released from Bellevue's psychiatric ward just hours earlier, allegedly shoved him down the subway stairs. Falzoni died before morning. At approximately 9:30 p.m., surveillance cameras captured Burke walking behind Falzoni on 7th Avenue. From about 30 yards back, he picked up his pace. He came up behind the retired teacher and, according to prosecutors, used both hands to shove him down the full flight of subway stairs. Falzoni struck his head halfway down. He suffered a traumatic brain injury, a fractured spine, and a fractured rib. Paramedics rushed him to Bellevue Hospital, the same Bellevue hospital that had released Burke hours earlier. He was pronounced dead at 2:55 a.m. Friday. Burke fled on foot. Police tracked him to Penn Station the following afternoon. Sources say he admitted to the killing. He was still wearing the wristband. At his arraignment Saturday, Burke smiled broadly as Judge Linda Capiti entered the courtroom. She noted the 4 open cases already on his record before ordering him held without bail. When she finished, Burke responded pleasantly and asked if there was anything else. Ramel Burke once performed on Broadway in the ensemble cast of King Kong, which ran on Broadway from 2018 to 2019. He appeared on red carpets and posed with actress Patricia Clarkson in a photograph from 2021. A friend told reporters the spiral started during COVID. By 2026, he was homeless and moving through New York's criminal justice system like a revolving door. In February 2nd, Burke allegedly assaulted a Port Authority police officer inside the World Trade Center after being caught stealing a bag of chips. 3 officers came away with injuries, released on non-monetary conditions. In February 14th, he allegedly kicked open a supply closet at the 23rd Street subway station, took a shovel, smashed subway car windows, and rolled a garbage can onto the live tracks. He was released. In February 25th, police found him stretched across multiple seats on a C train. When officers tried to handcuff him, he allegedly kicked one of them. They recovered a kitchen knife, a crack pipe, and a syringe, released on his own recognizance. On April 2nd, he allegedly approached a 23-year-old woman and her friend on the subway, stalked them between cars, yanked the woman by the back of her head, and kicked her friend. Officers arrested him on the spot. Prosecutors requested $3,000 bail. A judge granted supervised release instead. The woman chose not to cooperate with prosecutors. She told the New York Post she did not want to put another black man in jail. She now says she regrets it entirely. On the afternoon of May 7th, police found Burke outside the 17th Precinct station house on East 51st Street, acting erratically and holding a stick from a garbage can. Officers took him to Bellevue Hospital at 3:39 p.m. for a psychiatric evaluation. He was released at 4:39 p.m. 1 hour. A senior NYPD official told reporters the rapid turnaround was not unusual. Burke was still wearing his Bellevue wristband 5 hours later. Falzoni's death was not an isolated failure. In March, 83-year-old Air Force veteran Richard Williams was shoved onto the tracks at a Manhattan subway station by a man with 15 prior charges. He died 9 days later. In Charlotte last August, 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska was stabbed in the neck on a light rail train by a repeat offender with 14 prior arrests. He has since been found incompetent to stand trial. The pattern is the same in every city. Someone in crisis cycles through courts and hospitals. The system processes them and lets go. And someone who was just trying to get home pays the price. Burke's own attorney asked the judge for psychiatric treatment while he is incarcerated. Before the spiral, before the arrests, before the stick from the garbage can and the Bellevue wristband, he was a dancer on a Broadway stage. Ross Falzone's sister Donna had just celebrated her birthday with him in Manhattan. His nephew had visited weeks earlier on a day off from work. A neighbor who asked not to be identified said she wanted people to understand one thing about Falzone: that he was the nicest, most genuine, kind person. His family in Pennsylvania is planning his funeral. Back to you, Chris.
All right, Sarah, thank you for that report. Um, all right, drop my bomb real quick so I can get right into this, please. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's part of the show where I give you my view and my opinion. And for me, I have more than enough questions. And one of the main questions that I would have in this situation. All right, hold up. Before I get into it. Yeah, thank you. Let's drop a church bell real quick for the life that was lost in this situation real quick. Can we drop a church bell real quick? Thank you for that. Now, what I was focused on, what I was saying before, is one thing that I wanted to point out is the fact that our justice system, especially the New York justice system, is if one thing, okay, if anything, we could say that it is jacked up. Okay, can we give them the dummy buzzer? That's for the New York court system, right? Bruh. Yes, it's completely jacked up. Now, for this man to be arrested so many times and be released just like that after being admitted to a mental hospital, to me, I mean, come on, it's kind of bugged out, right? Bruh. To all my listeners, when you think that that was kind of bugged out, I think the problem with our system is this, is that some of these people, they are not being actually treated. They just take them in these places, observe them for a little while. They really don't diagnose them with anything. I mean, to me, they really don't. Bruh. Because if they did, why would they just release them so easily right out into the world? I mean, this is crazy. They released this man, and within probably a few hours of him being released, he killed somebody. Bruh. I mean, who is the one to really blame for that? Is it him? Is it him and his mental condition? Is it really? Bruh. I mean, I'm asking my listeners. Is it? I mean, really, is it? And I also want to point out that we did a little research as well. This man has no real, no mental history besides after he was fired, I guess, from, what was it, acting? Yeah, I guess he just flipped out because he lost everything after acting. You know what I'm saying? Oh yes, this is true. I mean, I hear the want because it doesn't give him any reason to sit there and kill somebody. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't give him a reason to do that. But because he did do that, and am I correct when I say he confessed? He confessed to doing it, right? He confessed to doing it. So I mean, come on. This guy is probably going to spend the rest of his life in jail. And I want to ask my listeners this question. Feel free to leave a comment on this. Do you think this man should really spend his life in the rest of his life in jail? Because that's possibly what he's going to get the rest of his life in jail. Or do you think that people who deal with situations like this, referring to those who are mentally disturbed, are or is diagnosed with some type of a mental, like, like multiple personality or whatever, that are diagnosed with some type of mental system. Do you think that the law system should be easier on them because they have mental problems, or do you think that they should be treated just like everybody else? Y'all let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. All right, that's my view and my opinion on this particular topic, because I have got to get out of here. I have so much more that I want to discuss, but listeners, I got to get out of here. All right, I want to thank all my listeners for tuning in. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you are here with me, and I so appreciate that. Hold on, what? Oh yes, to our TikTok viewers, thank y'all for helping us hit, what was it, 2,000. Thank you very much. We do appreciate that. Give them a small round of applause real quick. Thank you guys very much for helping us hit that mark. To the rest of my listeners, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Also, feel free to share this and leave a comment. There's a listing of all the social media platforms that we're on. So until next episode, ladies and gentlemen, stay blessed and not stressed. I will see you guys later. Peace out.